I would like you to know your rights as the tenant. I'm going to go through important tenancy laws which pertain to rent increase, eviction, and maintenance, and then I'm going to talk through the things you need to look out for when actually signing the tenancy contract. So let's get into it. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things Dubai real estate. Today we're covering a super interesting topic, especially if you're a tenant in Dubai or you're new to Dubai. We're going to talk about protecting your rights as a tenant and how to make sure that your landlord is doing everything according to Dubai law. Before we proceed, please do not forget to like this video, subscribe, click on the notification button so you stay up to date with all the videos I'm going to be releasing weekly. I've been working in Dubai real estate for 14 years and I've seen many disputes between tenants and landlords when it comes to tenancy contracts. In order to become a licensed real estate broker in Dubai, such as myself, we need to go through the RERA course where we learn about all the laws and regulations to do with tenancy contracts. Therefore, I want to share them with you so that you know your rights as the tenant. I have spoken in great detail in my previous video about various scams that can happen in Dubai, which you can watch right here, about tenancy contracts. It's really important that you're 100% sure who you're handing over the checks to, the money to, that the property belongs to the owner that's actually mentioned in the tenancy contract, and as I mentioned, that the power of attorney is valid. One of the most common things right now that we face is price increases for the rentals. Especially the prices have changed so much since 2020 up to now in 2022, where we see a huge influx of new people coming into Dubai and demand really rising. You need to be aware as the tenant that the landlord cannot just increase your price according to whatever he thinks after the 1-year contract has expired. Once you enter the tenancy contract at a certain rent, the landlord needs to notify you minimum 90 days in advance in writing what the rent increase will be, and only according to the Dubai rent increase calculator, which you can find on the Dubai Land Department website. So if a landlord sends you a 90-day notice for a rent increase, you as a tenant needs to comply with the percentage that Dubai Land Department calculator shows your rent increase to be. The maximum a landlord can increase your rent per year ever is by 20%. Have a look here at the various brackets that the landlord can increase your rents. So even if a landlord sends you a rent increase notification on day 89, you do not have to agree to the rent increase, and the Dubai Rental Dispute Center will protect your rights as a tenant. But what also could happen if a landlord is really unhappy about the undervalued rent is that they can send you an eviction notice to vacate, which I'm going to talk about later, of 12 months. What you need to look out for as a tenant though is whether the landlord has then went and re-rented the property again. Because if he or she has done so, you have the right to ask for compensation through the Rental Dispute Center. The way you can check whether your property has been rented again is go to a website called DXB Interact and go to the transactions for a certain unit, which will show whether your exact property has a new 𝗟𝗓𝗓 contract registered against it and for how much. The prices for rents decreased significantly in 2020 when there was a lot of panic in the summer, etc., but many tenants got amazing deals on rental contracts. And as a result, there's still so many tenants in villa communities that are very popular at low rents. And of course, landlords are not really happy because a lot of the rents now are doubled or even tripled, and they try to increase the tenant's contract value. As an example, in summer 2020, you could rent a 4-bedroom villa on the Palm for 250,000 to 300,000 dirhams a year. But this summer, in 2022, the rents go all the way up to 1 million dirhams a year. Second common point in Dubai is tenants receiving eviction notices from the landlord to vacate the property. Legally, the landlord has to give you 12-month notice to vacate the property for only the following reasons. 1, if he wants to live there himself or for his immediate family, or 2, if he or she is selling the property. This eviction notice must be sent to you through registered mail and must be notarized in the Dubai Notary Public. Of course, the landlord can ask you to vacate if you're not paying rent on time, and in that case, it's a 30-day notice for you to pay rent, and then if you fail to pay the rent, the landlord has the right to evict you for non-payment. However, there's also another eviction notice that the landlord can use in case you're not paying your rent on time. The landlord must give you a 30-day notice to allow you enough time to pay, and if you fail to do so, he will be able to go to the Dubai rental dispute and ask them to evict you. Also, if you're using the property for any unlawful purposes, the landlord also has the right to evict you within 30 days. The third point that we see landlords and tenants fighting over about quite often is maintenance issues, of course. Usually in your tenancy contract, it will stipulate what you are responsible for as a tenant. Usually it's minor maintenance below 500 dirhams, 1,000 dirhams, 1,500 dirhams, depending on the size of the property. And anything that is considered major maintenance, such as plumbing, electrics, etc., above that certain value is the responsibility of the landlord. My advice to you would be to always get approval from the landlord that he will pay a certain bill and get the landlord to actually pay it, rather than you paying it and then trying to get the money back from the landlord. The best thing though, of course, is to rent a property that is property managed by a company, and that way you have a one point of contact. You know that the company will straight away come and solve any of your issues, and that you will not have any problems about refunds for any maintenance that you would have paid for. Dacha Real Estate offers property management services for our landlords. We have many properties on our books, and our tenants are super happy that we always fix their issues on time, and at the same time, of course, the landlords are happy that their investment is secure and well managed with happy tenants living there. So now that you know your right as a tenant when it comes to rent increase, eviction and maintenance, I would like to go into a bit more details to the actual time when it comes to you signing a new lease agreement and what you should look out for. Of course, one of the main things is to be dealing with a very registered agent, an agent who knows what he is doing, so that you can get the right advice. The next step is actually reading through the tenancy contract and making sure that the title deed has been verified, that this is the actual owner, and if there is a power of attorney involved, that the power of attorney has been checked and that it is valid, and the person has the right to sign on the owner's behalf and also to receive rent on the owner's behalf. Make sure that the service charges for the villa or the apartment have been paid, because when it comes to the time to get the move-in permit for you to move in your furniture, some communities do not allow you to move in if there's outstanding service charges. So super important for your agent to provide you with the statement of accounts of the owner showing that all service charges have been cleared. The reason I want to bring this up is that I meet a lot of clients who complain to me with their experiences with other agencies. For example, somebody new moved to Dubai, that person knew nothing about Dubai market, she didn't know that she needs to register 𝗟𝗘𝗧, which is the registration of the tenancy contract with the Dubai government to allow you to connect electricity, water, internet, and get the move-in permit, which is the first step you should do after you've given up all your checks and rental payments. And then this person wanted to move into a villa community, applied for the permit with her moving vans waiting outside, only to find out that the owner, who is located overseas, hasn't paid the service charges. That tenant was chasing the landlord for a week to get the payment sorted and had to extend the stay in the hotel by a week. So if all that due diligence has been done, there would have been a lot of stress, hassle, and money wasted, avoided, and the transaction would have been much more smooth. The layout of the tenancy contract that will be accepted in the 𝗟𝗘𝗧 is very standard across all agencies, but then please be very careful to read through any additional terms and conditions that will be on the back page and also very often attached to the tenancy contract. Things to look out for is the deposits, what happens when something goes wrong in the apartment, what minor maintenance you will be responsible for, whether you're allowed pets in the apartment, if you will have to repaint the apartment when you move out, and when you want to break the contract, if ever, how much penalty you would have to pay. These are just some things that you have to look out for. Also, keep in mind, if there's something in the addendum that goes against the actual Dubai law pertaining to tenancy contracts, the Dubai law will always supersede whatever is written in the tenancy contract. For example, if in the tenancy contract it states that this contract is non-renewable and you have to vacate after a year, the landlord will not be able to enforce it. So the laws that I've described in the beginning of this video always supersede anything that will be written in the addendum. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Your rights as a tenant are very well protected by the Dubai law, and so are the rights of the landlord. Just make sure that you pay your rent on time, you keep the apartment in good and tidy condition, and then your rights as the tenant will also be protected. Share any experiences in the comments below. Message me any more ideas of videos that you would like to see. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see other videos that I'll be posting weekly. Have a good day.